Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour on Saga 960. Well, a female friend of mine, is very involved in Ferrari, and she's always posting pictures on Instagram and Facebook of her in red and gold, the Ferrari colors, and with cars and fancy cars and doing these things. And so I needed to check in with her because I thought you'd be interested about why she's so involved in Ferrari. So I want to introduce you to Marianna Todorova, who is the treasurer of a Ferrari club in Toronto. Marianna, how are you? Welcome to our show.
Thank you very much, Brian. I'm doing very good. Thank you for having me tonight, and Forza Ferrari.
So tell me, you're the treasurer of what? Of a Ferrari club?
Actually, I'm the treasurer and member of the board of directors for Scuderia Ferrari Club in Toronto. And this is the official Ferrari team established by our legendary founder, Enzo Ferrari, more than 90 years ago. And that organization exists largely in Italy and also across the world. So
how did you become passionate about Ferrari such that you wanted to join this organization?
Actually, Ferrari always is associated with men, with cars, and it's not that much of a female organization, let's put it this way. But Ferrari, in essence, stands for pursuit of excellence. Ferrari DNA is the energy to always be the best and to deliver your very own best. So I did get involved with this group of people 2 years ago, and I was very much interested to get to know more about the history behind Ferrari, not just the physical sports car that we see on the streets of Woodbridge or the streets of Toronto. And then I got involved into the board of directors. I was elected as a treasurer 2 years ago. And yeah, it has been one amazing journey.
Were you always interested in cars?
Yes and no. I do like cars, and I do like sports cars because they represent a lots of energy and a lots of speed. But Ferrari is a very, very special brand, okay? And it happened to be the strongest brand in the universe. And it happened to be the one that is most loved all over the world and widely recognized. So Ferrari is really, really special for many, many different reasons.
So tell us a little about this club. You say it was started, did you say 90 years ago?
Actually, our club was established 7 years ago, and we are one of the kind of youngest organizations across the globe. And we have been growing very, very rapidly in the last 7 years. We have been awarded each of every year best foreign club in the world. We have over 900 members in Toronto, and we have our clubhouse here in Woodbridge, and we welcome people to join us, especially if they do have passion for Ferrari and passion for Formula One.
So it's not only the car, it's the racing of the car that is part of the club's sort of raison d'etre.
Yes, absolutely. It's mostly in relation of Formula One. Yeah.
Have you been to a Formula One race?
Actually, Brian, last year I never ever thought in my life that I would be interested to go to Formula One because, I never thought that a lady could enjoy this kind of experience. But last year I had the chance to go to Montreal to the Canadian Grand Prix. And I had an opportunity of life-changing moment in Monza in the Italian Grand Prix of last year. And it was absolutely phenomenal.
So you went to Italy?
Yes, I went with our team. We were approximately 50 people here from the Scuderia Ferrari Club Toronto. We traveled to Italy. We joined with people from all over the world on the grandstand at Monza. and we won big because Ferrari was number one at that race. And it was one amazing, life-changing moment that it is, honest to God, it is something that I wish everybody experience in their life, because it cannot be compared to anything else, really.
Really? Why?
Because when you go to this place and when you happen to read about Enzo Ferrari, about Italia, about Italians, about people in general, Michael Schumacher, and many, many other people that were involved with Ferrari, and how much efforts and how much blood and sweat and tears all of these people put behind the victory of Ferrari. And then you arrive to this place to see that energy and love for Ferrari. It is absolutely unprecedented what one can experience. And we happen to be, all of us, the Ferrari people, at the grandstand in Monza. We have a special place. And then when we all unite that energy and that passion for Ferrari, it is beyond cars, it is beyond Formula One, it is beyond Grand Prix. It is a culture and a planet of its own. It's like a religion, and it's really, really, really empowering to be able to be part of that.
What a fascinating story. We're chatting tonight with Marianna Todorova, who is the treasurer of the local Ferrari club. We're going to take a break for some messages and come back more with Marianna in just a minute. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Radio Hour, Saga 960. We're chatting with a friend of mine, Marianna Todorova, who is the treasurer of a Ferrari club in Woodbridge in Toronto. And she has just told us a story about going to her first two Grand Prix races, one in Montreal and one in Italy, and been there in Italy when Ferrari won the flag, the checkered flag. So that's pretty exciting. It's still kind of interesting to me about why you decided to get so involved. So you said it had something to do with, quality and the desire for perfection. Was that what motivated you to initially get involved in joining the club?
Well, when I joined the club and I did witness how much passion the people from the club have for Ferrari, and how much they care and how much effort they have put in order to grow this organization. And especially, Brian, in a place like Toronto, that we do not have a racetrack here, because usually the Ferrari club, the Scuderia Ferrari, again established by the legendary Enzo Ferrari, was established in a way to support Ferrari in the places there is a Grand Prix. And Toronto doesn't have a Grand Prix. The Grand Prix, as you know, is in Montreal. But the Italian community and the others that are very, very much involved with that club have put a lot of effort and passion in order to establish this organization and to be able to unite all of the people that share that same DNA, the DNA of Ferrari, to be the best, to strive for excellence, to never give up. It doesn't matter how difficult it could be. And, I go back in my mind at the time when Enzo Ferrari, more than 9 years ago, was knocking on doors in Italy in order to tell people that he has one great dream. And many of the people were just thinking that this is crazy and this cannot ever be happening, and this is never gonna materialize. But Enzo Ferrari said that if you can dream it, you can do it. And this is what Ferrari is all about. Dream big, go big, work hard, and in the end of the day, enjoy and celebrate the pursuit for excellence.
And so what was the dream? Was the dream to build a beautiful car or to win the Grand Prix, or both?
Actually, his dream was to build the car that is the fastest car. And his dream was to build a vehicle that was never seen before. And Brian, how in life people, when you're sharing a dream, especially imagine 9 years ago, that was a long time ago, and people often think, well, it sounds good, but how is that going to happen? And actually, when Enzo Ferrari went to talk to the folks from Alfa Romeo in order to join with them and start that new journey, they said, Mr. Ferrari, this is a good story, but do you have any money? And Enzo Ferrari said, gentlemen, to be very honest with you, I do not have a lira in my pocket, but I have a plan. Okay, so in life it's very important to stand behind your plan, behind your dream, behind what you like to accomplish. And this is what is the legendary Enzo Ferrari did. Okay, he delivered the impossible.
How did he do that? Did he have better mechanics? Did he have a better powertrain system? What was the secret?
Actually, what happened is he went and he talked to one very prominent engineer that many people wanted to get him. He was working for Fiat, and his name is Vittorio Giano. And he went and he talked to him, and he told him that if he stay in Fiat, okay, he will not be able to accomplish anything further. And he's really a great engineer. So if he joined with Enzo Ferrari, his dreams will come to fruition. And believe it or not, he decided to join with Enzo Ferrari, and then they assembled the team. They team up with Alfa Romeo first. It was many different moves. But the most important of all is that Enzo Ferrari kept on going, and he had this amazing charisma and energy that in the end of the day becomes so contagious that when you see how people love Ferrari and how people have a passion for Ferrari, it is something really unspeakable. So the dream of Enzo Ferrari did it all, I guess.
So Ferrari started in 1939. The very first car built was in 1940. When did they win their first race?
Well, I read not too long ago that actually we had 1,000 races this year in Formula One, because Formula One and the Grand Prix started in the 50s. Before that, it was all kind of this little stuff happening in Italy. It wasn't organized the way it's organized right now. But I'm thinking right now of a story which it's a really one amazing story about Enzo Ferrari and what Ferrari stands for. It was just about at that time in the beginning of, I believe it was in 1919, okay? Even Ferrari did not exist at that time. And Enzo Ferrari and a friend of him traveled to Sicily in order to participate in one of these local races. Imagine these roads in Sicily in the beginning of the 20th century. And what happened is during the race, they had an issue with the exhaust system, so they had to stop and repair the exhaust system, and that delayed them significantly. So when they finally arrived back to the finishing line, it was all of the people were gone. It was only two policemen, two carabinieri, okay, standing there, because everybody else left because they never even thought that they would be back. And here I am thinking, when I was reading this story, that imagine how many people will continue this journey when you arrive to the finishing line and there is nobody there waiting for you. Most of the people will just give up and say, well, this is impossible, or that's not for me, or so on and so forth. But, Enzo Ferrari kept going and going. And thanks to him and many other people involved with him, he built what Ferrari is all about. And it is something that is really hard to explain in a short while. You have to just live it, feel it, know
I was
it.
surprised when I found out that all the Ferraris in the world are built in one factory.
Yes, and I was there last year in a little city in Italy called Maranello that is relatively close to Monza. And that place have a really special energy. When we went there to see the museum of Ferrari, it's like the moment you enter to the city, it's probably about 20,000 people live there, and it's a little hilly, and beautiful little city. And you can see Ferraris everywhere. And people having the flag of Ferrari from their balcony. And I told our president, Antonio Fulino, I said to him, Tony, the spirit of Enzo Ferrari is here. He said, Bella, yes, you're right. Okay, you can feel the spirit of Enzo Ferrari. Yeah. All of the cars are built in that factory. Yes.
All the Ferraris built in one factory. And there's only something like 16,000 built a year. So not that many.
Well, basically, Enzo Ferrari always wanted Ferrari to be the car that everybody desire, but very few can really buy. So it's a really exclusive vehicle, and it is a vehicle for let's put it this way, for a super special occasion. It's not for every day or something, and it's truly an amazing experience to drive Ferrari. Honest to God, it's
Have you driven a Ferrari on a racetrack?
No, I haven't. But I have driven a Ferrari, on the normal streets of Toronto, and it's unspeakable because it's not like anything else. It has nothing to do with driving a car. It is one amazing journey.
The Ferrari first competed. First won in 1950 in a Grand Prix, and has been in every Grand Prix since 1950, and is the only car company that's been in absolutely every single Grand Prix.
Correct. 1,000 times in the Grand Prix. Yes.
Incredible. Before Ferrari, did you love a different car company? Or if it's
no. I always, I always had a nice car to drive. Let me put it this way. But this is a different relationship. This is not a car. This is identity. This is a DNA. This is a passion. This is something that you live with this each of every day of your life. Okay, and especially when you have friends and people that are in the same circle. And I do have that kind of friends all over the world, from Brazil to Australia, Italy, many, Switzerland, Spain, Portugal, Germany. It's a really something like, you belong to this one very, very big family, and all of the people cheer and look for one single thing, for Ferrari to win, always.
People have been talking about electrical vehicles. People have been talking about autonomous vehicles for the last, 2 generations. One of the sort of the passages of manhood, and also for you as well, for womanhood, has been owning and driving a car. Do you think we're going to fall out of love with owning and driving a car and put up with electrical vehicles and autonomous vehicles and shared vehicles?
To tell you the truth, I don't know, Brian, because you see now with the pandemic and COVID, how much that changed our lives and everything. I think we are in a journey of many, many changes and many, many different ways of living our life going forward. But I always believe that Ferrari will always exist, and it will be always a Formula One, because this is very different type of experience and phenomena. And maybe in the future we'll have some opportunities to experience vehicles and share vehicles and electrical vehicles that we cannot even think right now. But is that going to be a normal life? I don't believe so. It will be just another option, in my humble opinion.
Ferrari was partnered with Alfa Romeo at one point in time. It was owned by Fiat at another point in time. It was owned by Chrysler, I guess, at another point in time. And then it became independent again. Did its attitude toward quality change with different ownership structures?
Actually, no, I never will change, because this is what Ferrari stands everywhere you go in the world. You know, last year I was sailing with a group of friends in the Indian Ocean in a little island, group of islands called Seychelles. It's about 4 hours east of East Africa, okay? And we went to this big, park, which was full of these huge, huge turtles. Honest to God, the turtles were as big as Ferrari in a way. And I was talking to the girl that was in the front of the door, and I was wearing a Ferrari jacket. And she said, "Oh my God, you are from Ferrari." I said, "Yeah." "You know what is Ferrari?" She said, "Yes, of course we know." And I'm thinking, oh my God, here in the middle of the Indian Ocean, it's like, it's the end of the world in a way. And people still, like Ferrari, know Ferrari, recognize Ferrari. And I think this is what Enzo Ferrari wanted to be Ferrari, to always maintain this quality, this excellence, superb, level. And not only in Formula One, but also in the physical sport car of Ferrari. And not too long ago, I read somewhere that every one of us should drive a Ferrari. Because when you do, the world knows you have arrived.
Well, I have not had the privilege of driving a Ferrari, but I do have to tell you that I drove a very nice Mercedes-Benz on a racetrack in Eastern Ontario with trained race car drivers in front of me and behind me to make sure that I didn't go too fast or too slow as I was either going around the corners or down the straight of the way. And to actually drive a very powerful sports car on a race track with supervision is an incredibly wonderful experience. And so maybe what I've got to do still to achieve one more thing on my bucket list is to join your club and to drive a Ferrari on a racetrack sometime.
Absolutely, absolutely. I remember when I drove Ferrari for the first time. Actually, I went to a Ferrari event, and they had a Ferrari that one of the guys said, "Come on, Marianna, come drive my car. Okay, you love the car so much." So I tell you, I was astonished by the way how the car is so powerful. The feeling that you have inside of a vehicle like that, it's like, it's like flying in a way. It's really, really one of a kind experience. Yeah, I guess this is what Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari wanted Ferrari to be, and all of the people associated with Ferrari from all of these years, they wanted to deliver this experience that is absolutely impeccable, and you cannot compare it to anything else. Yeah, you can drive a car, you can experience this and that, but being in a Ferrari and driving a Ferrari, this is really like going to the moon and still being in the ground.
Well, your enthusiasm for Ferrari just exudes through the television screen, the computer screen. So thank you so much for joining us and telling us the story about your Ferrari club and your passion for Enzo Ferrari and what he built for quality, for speed, for resilience, for winning, etc. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me, Brian. I like to say to everybody out there that is listening, be safe. We will go through this period. We'll defeat COVID. And one day we'll turn back and we'll say, well, we got stronger thanks to this experience. I like to send my regards to all of the women out there and the girls. Do not ever give up on your dreams. And most of all, I want to say to all of the Ferrari fans around the world, Forza Ferrari, always and forever. And to my fellows from Scuderia Ferrari Club Toronto, the Ferrari Club of America, and all the best to the Italian community, to La Italianità in Canada, all the best. And thank you for giving us this chance to really share together the passion for Ferrari and the passion for being the best.
And you really know you've arrived when you've driven a Ferrari. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
One more that we got to put on the bucket list. Thank you so much, Marina. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Brian. All the best. Bye-bye.